Hey there, it's Andrea Olson with the Go Diaper Free podcast. I'm going to be recording episode 108 today. EC from scratch, DIY EC, budget friendly, how to do elimination communication with stuff that you already have. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the Go Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about helping you stop depending on diapers as early as birth. I'm your host, Andrea Olson, author and mom of 5 babies, all EC'd from birth, all out of diapers by walking. This is episode 108. EC from scratch, DIY elimination communication, budget friendly. You can read the written version of today's show over at godiaperfree.com/108, where I'll also conveniently link to all the things mentioned in today's episode. I will also be replying to comments over there, as will Natalie, the author of today's show, so come on by when you're finished. This is a guest post from Natalie Robbins, our certified coach serving Indianapolis and surrounding areas. I hope you enjoy it. And also, I just want to mention, there's a download that she's included with this show today that will be over on the show notes. Definitely download it because it's like a one-pager that really shows all this stuff that I'm about to cover in a nutshell. Okay, in Natalie's words, if the budget is tight, or you want to try EC, but you're not sure that you're committed, here are some simple solutions you can try using items that you already have at home. Like many, our family started practicing elimination communication with the perspective, why not? If it saves a couple of diapers, what do we have to lose by trying? Also, like many, we were skeptical if it would really work, and we didn't have the cash to spend on extras to get started. I Googled question after question, read dozens of Andrea's blog posts, and researched all sorts of DIY options to make EC work with what we already had at home. Once we were committed, we did invest in some cloth diapers, training pants, a mini potty, and a seat reducer, but the cost has been incredibly low compared to what we could have spent if we diapered full-time. We've spent a total of $105 on our EC gear so far, not including the disposable diapers we were gifted from our baby shower. We used them sparingly and saved so many that we have not spent a single penny on disposables ourselves. And we don't plan to spend a penny more until we need to size up the training pants. Today I'm going to share various DIY potty options, diapering choices, information sources, and clothing preferences that will allow you to practice EC in a very budget-friendly manner. And again, on the download, you'll see a little graphic of Potty Options. And over on the show notes, she shows a picture of their entire EC diapering gear, excluding a couple of additional pre-folds and t-shirt flats. She made flats out of t-shirts, you guys. It's amazing. So first is Potty Options. The EC hold is magical. You can use it practically anytime, anywhere. Over the sink, toilet, outdoors. Commonly used for newborn babies, it's still our go-to at nearly 9 months old, when our baby isn't super interested in the potty. Over the sink is especially easy because the height is just right, and you have the benefit of being able to run a little water over their feet to help encourage a pee. You can do it over an open diaper, or a pre-fold, or a towel too, if another receptacle isn't readily available. And she has a picture of her potty cozy that she made, and from a t-shirt, and also her little bedside mini potty setup that makes nighttime and early morning EC much easier, which we'll cover in a second. But first, let's talk about the mixing bowl, repurposed. When we first started EC at 3 months old, we used a plastic mixing bowl with rounded over edges so it was comfortable for the baby, and a DIY potty cozy that I just mentioned using an old t-shirt. And I have a tutorial on my website about that that's linked to in these show notes. We could support our baby in a seated position on it perfectly. You can use a large mixing bowl held between your legs while nursing as well. We keep one regularly in the car for potty tunities there. I also recently saw a Facebook comment mentioning using collapsible dog water bowls for a potty on the go if you've already got one of those. Never tried it myself, but it may work if you have a good aim. Next, she wants to talk about the mini potty because this is definitely a versatile investment. A mini potty truly does make life easier. A mixing bowl is a little more prone to spilling if it's set down off balance. She learned that the hard way. So if you were to invest in one potty, I would highly recommend the Baby Bjorn Smart Potty. We purchased it for $20 after much research. That's approximately 80 diapers at per diaper cost of 25 cents each. So 80 diapers that would last you less than 2 weeks at a rate of 6 diapers a day. So 2 weeks worth of diapers, they bought a potty instead. We figured once we saved $20 worth of diapers, we'd gotten our money's worth. It has paid for itself over and over and over again. Plus, the insert can function as a top hat potty, which is also linked in the show notes, for a newborn. And then the mini potty is perfect from 3 months on when baby has head control all the way through potty independence. So it's small enough that it's sufficient for a little baby, but big enough that even a 2-year-old can sit on it without a problem. The next thing in potties is the potty seat, a big kid option. So these are the things she actually did invest in. Around 6 months, our baby decided the mini potty wasn't for her anymore. She would happily use it first thing in the morning and occasionally after naps, but otherwise wasn't too interested. After 2 months of primarily using the EC hold, we purchased the Munchkin Sturdy Potty Seat. And she did a YouTube review that's linked to in the show notes for $10. It is small enough for our 8-month-old to use, has a good splash guard, fits securely on the seat with no jiggling, which is very important. And we can now flush poops straight down the toilet, which is also much better than dumping a mini potty sometimes. It's not soft as it's made of hard plastic, but as long as it's a short potty tunity, like she's not going to sit there very long, that hasn't been a problem at all. Our mobile baby loves sitting like a big girl on the real potty, and that also quickly paid for itself in saved diapers. Speaking of diapers, getting in the rhythm, sumo-style diapering. So when you're just getting started with EC, a sumo-style diaper with a cloth just down the crotch of the baby between the legs and an elastic waistband around their waist is perfect for observation at any age. It can work as a temporary diaper backup if you don't want to waste your precious disposables but don't have any cloth diapers. T-shirts or pre-folds also work great for a sumo-style diaper as a cost-friendly option, but pee definitely leaks. So T-shirts will definitely leak, obviously. So it wasn't a good full-time solution for us. After probably 2 weeks of sumo-style diapering, we went ahead and purchased cloth diapers. So again, you guys, this is as she gets more and more committed to EC, she's buying a couple of very key things. Cloth diapering, way cuter and saves money. You can use any kind of diaper backup for EC. However, the most cost-friendly option is cloth diapering. I know lots of mamas love their fancy cloth diaper stash, but you don't need much. We purchased 3 cloth diaper covers, and there's a link in the show notes, and 1 dozen pre-folds, and that was it. If you get pre-folds, please buy the newborn size. I cannot preach this loud enough. The regular size ones are huge and bulky and unnecessary if you're changing after a single pee. Flip my page. I love recording these for you guys. Okay. We cut up 1 old t-shirt to make cloth wipes, and we also used about 24 old t-shirts as backup pre-folds. I appreciated that they were more lean than our pre-folds since we bought too large a pre-fold size, and since they can be unfolded like flats, they dry way faster. For the 3 one-size covers, 12 pre-folds, and the bonus of 6 training pants that were on clearance, we spent a total of $75 on our cloth diapering. They wouldn't have worked for the newborn stage. And in that case, this is Andrea speaking, I would add, instead of one size cover, you can get the ones that grow with them. Like we have some at Tiny Undies that grow with the baby. But what she's saying, this stash has been completely sufficient for our needs between 3 to 8 months and will certainly fit for many more months. Although I'm hoping to ditch diapers by 1 year, so we hopefully won't need them for too much longer. And then disposable diapers, a convenient tool. Disposables certainly are the least budget friendly, but they are so convenient, requiring no washing at all. If money is tight, you can put the diaper back on after a pee catch, even if it's wet, for a couple of pees before throwing away, because honestly, that's what people do anyway, right? But they're not pottying them in between. I personally throw the diaper away after every pee when we do use a disposable because my baby gets a rash if she sits and pee too long. And it's not as good for her health, but it's also not the end of the world if she does. After 1 single pee miss, the diaper is still pretty dry. Touching the inside, I can't feel much of a difference. So putting it back on to catch a second miss isn't a big deal as long as it doesn't cause a rash. And you guys, I've been known to take a disposable that's been peed in just a little bit, like a pre-pee just once, and wipe it on my leg of my jeans. And it makes the surface of it dry. So like the pee is inside it. And it's totally fine for me. I mean, my jeans are clean. I put it back on my baby and never had a rash. Okay, now let's talk about information. Paper noise. Go diaper free. your one-stop shop. Andrea is amazing, y'all. That's awkward to read about myself. I cannot be more grateful for all the information she has gathered from her experience and research and shared with all of us free of charge. We relied primarily on the blog for the first few months of EC and then got her book. We would have avoided some hiccups had we gotten the book from the get-go, like the newborn prefolds. That's one thing I definitely wish I had done differently. Her resources on YouTube, live classes, Q&As on Facebook, and the blog and podcast are so incredible. And the additional EC information created and shared by other Go Diaper Free coaches on their own platforms are super helpful as well. I'm working on my own, called ASL Potty Ventures, which would absolutely not be possible without the depth of knowledge I've learned from her book, the coaching program, and directly from Andrea herself. Thank you. Invest in the book. Trust me, it's worth it. Support groups are great, but they're not the ideal place for finding robust information about the ins and outs of EC. Your EC practice changes so much throughout the baby's developmental stages, and there's no reason to wing it when all the wisdom is right in front of you. So she basically says, I still recommend the book. All the information you will need in one place. It's worth it, I promise. And she links to it from the show notes. And if you buy it from the show notes, she'll actually get credit for the sale because she's a coach. And I do give my coaches thank yous. And so that would be awesome. If you haven't gotten it and you want to buy it through her link, that'd be rad. All right, now let's talk about clothes. We learned very quickly when we started EC that onesies are not your friends. We switched to using tops and bottoms. We have never used any EC-specific gear like split crotch pants, leg warmers, etc. But we do look for dresses, shirts, pants, and shorts that are easy to use in an EC setting. Clothing with snaps beneath the diaper simply hinder the process and either caused a missed potty opportunity or more often ended up hanging around unsnapped, which isn't really very sightly. We are grateful to friends who have passed down clothing to us as well as grandparents who enjoy thrift shopping for our baby, so we have not spent anything ourselves on clothing either. But if we did, garage sales and thrift stores would absolutely be our go-tos. I'm not much of a seamstress, but I've also seen some great DIY EC gear patterns and maybe trying out the fleece soaker pattern that she lists on the show notes soon. Which of these cost-saving options have you used in your EC practice? Are there any other budget-friendly practices you can share with us? Please go over to the show notes, again, at godiaperfree.com/108 is the full written version of this guest post. Head over and let us know which options have you used and do you have other budget-friendly practices. We'll see you over there. Till next time, when we talk about something else EC-related. I haven't planned that out yet, but I'm sure it'll be something fantastic. Until then, happy pottying, y'all. I'm Andrea Olson, and you've been listening to the Go Diaper Free podcast at godiaperfree.com. See you soon. That's a true story. I don't know what I'm doing next because I always get inspiration. And then I'm like, oh, let's do a post on this. And if you have an idea for a post, just post it, write it below and say, hey, Andrea, do a podcast on this or a video or whatever, a demonstration. And I would love to do it for you. So comment below. Let us know what your budget-friendly options are. Any kind of resources you can think of, DIY, EC style. We would love to hear them. Hit the bell and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.